Maybe.
Where are we? There we are. Oh my
Are we
God.
online?
Yes, I think so.
Hooray.
Hooray.
I like being online.
Yes, I got a notification on my phone and everything.
Oh, I did not. I rang the bell. What the hell?
I'll ring the bell. What the hell?
Oh, wait. It looks like the bell has been unrung. Hang on. Oh, no, it is
Oh,
rung.
you can't unring that bell. Once that bell's been rung.
I know what you mean. All right, there we go. I'm going to join it.
I don't know what I mean, so
There I am.
somebody does.
I'm on the internet.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of me.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like the internet.
Would you like to be you can be your full name, Chuck Dowling. You didn't change your Zoom name.
Did I not change my Zoom name?
Yeah. But I think everyone knows
People
your
know
full
who
name.
you are, Chuck
Yeah.
Dowling.
It's literally your YouTube channel name. It's out there.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clever. Who is that? Who joined our thing here? I don't know who Dowling, Chuck is.
No, you know.
Is there a comma there? It's very tiny.
Mystery.
So,
So,
is it cold like everywhere in the country right now? Did it just like blow over winter the whole damn country? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
weird. Winter in December. Who knew?
I mean, it doesn't usually get this cold this early here.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
it's also not that bad. I'm just.
This is also it.
It's more like
the worst of it.
Yeah.
It won't be this cold again until who knows February maybe.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Oh.
it was this just shock of like it being 70 one day and waking up the next morning and it's like 35. It's like the fuck. Like I was not prepared for this because
Yeah.
I didn't look at the news or the
Imagine
weather.
having a commute.
Yeah.
I had to scrape ice off my car.
Oh.
I was like, I live in Florida. What the shit? And then God was like, yeah, that's right. I was like, okay, you got a point, God.
Ooh, that fella.
Yeah. So, Chuck, you said you got a couple moves.
I have an HBO show and maybe a movie.
It's a debatable whether or not it's a movie.
It depends on how we are with time.
Oh.
I did hear that you confirmed my suspicions about Austin Powers last weekend.
I did, yeah. Yeah, gold member can eat a gold member.
Didn't even make it all the way through. It's commendable.
Nope. I got to the Hard Knock Life segment and just went, man, no. This movie fucking sucks. He's doubled down on all the worst things about Austin Powers.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So
Whew.
they're all better than the Love Guru, though.
But you have seen that all the way through.
Yeah.
Or have you?
I mean, I watched. I had Gold Member on the whole time.
Oh.
I probably had the Love Guru
The whole
on
time you were
whole
watching
time.
the Love Guru?
Yeah.
Actually, that makes me remember when I gave up officially on Adam Sandler. It was the Zohan movie. That was the last one. I think I was like, I'll give this a chance. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm done now.
Zohan got so bad it looped back around and became great.
I didn't get
That by
there.
the end, that movie, I was so on board with that movie that I literally hated for the first few minutes. I was just like, this fucking is trash. And then I don't know, it just kept being the stupidest thing ever, and somehow I started finding it funny.
I'm not sure if I finished it. That might have been one I gave up on. I was just like, yeah, all right, it's over. I mean, it was pretty close to being over with Little Nicky, but you know, it was like, all right, because I think Wedding Singer was after that, and it was like, all right, you still might have a few more in you, but I don't know, somewhere around there. Now, Wedding Singer is before that. I'm thinking of 50 First
Wedding
Dates.
Singer's before
50 First
Little Nicky.
Dates, it's still okay.
I think after Nicky was Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, and that's fine too. Mostly because of John Turturro.
Where's the one where he's got the kid?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, yeah.
That was around then too, right?
Yeah, I didn't like that, but it didn't offend me. I was just like, I don't want this. Like, it was like Liar Liar. It's like, nah, this isn't like you're going too close to like, where's the Turbo Man? Like, it's like you're not far off from that when you bring in the kid and start doing goofy shit. It's like
I should hit record.
Yes.
Ooh, it's a really good idea.
Right.
I've been recording for a full 6 minutes and 46 seconds.
Oh shit.
All that gold, all that hot fire. That will get cut immediately as soon as you you start editing.
As soon as there's the clap.
Are we ready for the clap?
The clap ends everything, doesn't it?
I don't.
Yeah, Bill's here.
Yeah, I want to retake that sentence.
What?
I said, "Are we ready for the clap?"
I'm
And I
not
was
ready
like,
for the clap.
"No."
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, just let it happen, man.
Check 2, syphilis, chlamydia. All right, welcome to the BMFcast Variety Hour.
Hey, BMFcast Variety Hour.
Of a number
Hey,
in its
guys.
20s. 7? 27, yes.
27.
Yeah, we die this time, I think. The 27 Club, we're out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Chuck's going to get that crack he's always wanted, and it's all downhill from there. Yeah.
Or is it?
I don't know. But I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
Yeah, that's of the Chuck person who I was just mentioning who's going to try the crack eventually.
I'm that guy. I'm the crack guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, three-man pod once again. I have something to tell you guys.
What's that?
BJ and I are the same person.
What? Get out.
It's kind of a beautiful mind thing.
Okay.
No, that would imply that we're all crazy.
Okay,
He was just talking about Paul Bettany.
this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah, BJ's not here this week.
Okay.
You're stuck with me. Again. As usual. Oh, man. So
Yeah.
how are your weekends, guys?
Super duper. I bought some movies, of which I might talk.
Wait, you bought some movies?
I bought some movies. Like iTunes had a big ass sale, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I should upgrade some and fill out collections. And some of it was like Chuck gave me a code for Amazing Spider-Man 2, which okay, but it redeemed as HD. And then I was like, well, now I don't have the first one. And then it was like, would you like both for $10 in 4K? And I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sure.
And it just led down that path of like, yeah, let's get the McGuire Spider-Mans and let's upgrade this and get the Bill and Ted movies and yeah.
So
Eventually,
you have everything in 4K now?
most everything I bought like Scarface, like just random things that was like, oh yeah, that's in 4K.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. A lot of them were Paramount, but I don't care about the, as long as they're in a service, I don't really care. I like the other things because it brings them to iTunes and sometimes upgrades them to 4K. I think it's based on the studio. It's really weird. Like
It's so haphazard.
yeah,
at this
some of
point.
my old DVD digital copies have become 4K, but some of my Blu-ray standard def when they first started doing digital copies in Blu-ray are still standard def, and it's like, the fuck is happening? Like,
Yeah, I think my Fast 5 is still standard def, and that just drives me insane.
yeah, I finally got Fast 5 to upgrade. I think the problem is like the digital codes were always for the extended edition, and that doesn't have a 4K version.
Oh,
And it's like you have to get the like theatrical one to get the 4K. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was like always my rub. I was like, what the fuck? I can't upgrade this goddamn thing. Yeah. But anyway, I digress.
the fuck?
Yeah. This is
Well, what's
weird.
something you bought?
I didn't mean to lead off with this because it's old ass shit, but I don't know
Not
what
if
else.
it's in 4K. It's
Oh,
not.
okay. Well, one among the things is I finally bought the Back to the Future trilogy again. I shouldn't say finally. I mean, I've owned it on every goddamn format I think
I was
that's
going to say,
existed.
we've had quite a few
Yeah.
releases of that.
Yeah, I was going
On
to say.
Black Friday, I bought my third Blu-ray set of Back to the Future.
Okay.
I have the 25th, 30th, and 35th anniversary sets now.
Nice. Or is there anything different between them?
This one was 4K.
Okay. Oh, so you did buy the 4K set? Yes.
Yeah.
So they.
Yeah, I feel like anything you buy at this point is going to be 4K unless it's like Vinegar Syndrome or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
no, because they're putting out stuff.
they are putting out some
Rad-
things in 4K.
Rad came out in 4K.
Yeah.
The Beastmaster's coming
Jesus.
out in 4K.
I think it has to be things.
Yeah,
that
I
are
guess
like,
they are getting old film elements, so they can do that.
Tammy and the T-Rex came out in 4K.
We did
Yeah.
watch that. That's true. The gore cut.
Did we watch that in 4K? I don't even remember.
Yes, we
did.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, we
My
did.
God.
We've only done like 3 movies in 4K in this entire history of our podcast because they don't typically go together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, they
it's
don't.
true.
But the Back to the Future trilogy finally remastered in 4K yet again. So I don't know. I know the internet was just clamoring for more takes on the Back to the Future trilogy.
I need to know.
Things people might have noticed, like, hey guys, did you know that it's the Lone Pine Malls after he comes back after he's hit the tree in the past? But no, nothing like that. It's like I've seen Back to the Future, at least the first one, so many times. I'm shocked that like I can still notice things that I've never noticed before, and it's like I've always commended the movie for being one of the most perfect scripts ever written. The first one, but like set decoration wise too, that movie is so ridiculously on point. And like the little things that I noticed is the model of Hill Valley that the doc makes to like show him with the car, like the clock tower is like an old wristwatch or whatever, but it's set to the proper time. Like the hands are actually at like 10:04 or whatever the lightning strikes. It's like someone actually set that little thing to just be that precise, and it's just like
Never
Jesus.
would've noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, but like when you're dealing in 4K and finally on a 60+ inch TV, it's like okay, like I can see these things. But and the other thing that I noticed in the original one is when back in the past, Doc, just when he's setting up the electrical wire and the cop's like, hey, what's this over here? And, and he's like, you got a permit for that. And that's when Marty comes up and is like trying to slip the note about don't, be careful in 1985. He's like, yeah, I got a permit. And I never noticed. He clearly reaches in his wallet and opens up where the money would be. He's going to bribe the cop. Like he's not reaching for a permit. It's not in like the card slots or anything like that. He's opening up the money bill part of his wallet and fishing around. Like, is this it? Like you can actually hear it. Like, is this a permit? Like, yeah. So I just think that's kind of hilarious that just a little detail. Like I never noticed that he's bribing the cop in the background, but yeah. And then that's really all like other than it looking absolutely gorgeous in 4K, like they did a fantastic job on that remaster. What the hell's going on? Hold on, give me a second. You're gonna have to edit this. Or not. Something my shit just went all crackly. Besides it just looking really good, like that I've seen the original Back to the Future so many times. It's hard for me to notice too many new things. Like I literally know like the music cues and the like all of like the little notes and like what happens next. It's just one of those kind of movies. But I've never watched 2 and 3 as many times as I've seen the original. It's just we had the original on VHS, and 2 and 3 were 4 years later, and
Yeah, we had 4 extra years.
yeah. So I've never seen them. I've seen them obviously a number of times, but never as many times. There are things that I find funny in the 2015 and Back to the Future 2. I think the most accurate thing, which they didn't get much right about where we were going to be in 2015, but the most accurate thing is I never noticed that like during the hoverboard fight recreation thing, when Marty gets stuck over the water, the cops are like literally standing right there as Biff is like, or Griff or whatever his name was, yeah, like is like extending a bat and launching up his crew to come murder Marty in the water, and they're just like, yeah, well, this seems okay, and then like and then 2 seconds later they're like they find Jennifer passed out and they're like, oh, check this bum out, it's like had too many, didn't you? And it's like, if you have a sleep-inducing thing, like, shouldn't your concern be like sexual assault first? Like if like somebody could just go up and go, you're asleep. Like, they basically invented portable roofies, and the cops are being dicks to her, and it's just like, well, they got that right about 2015.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
crankhead.
let the kids murder her and murder each other, and ladies, they should be more careful, right? So
Well, she lives in Lyon Estates, which is a fucking shithole.
yes, I know. Yeah, and that's all the rest they do is berate her about, oh god, we got to take her all the way out there, that fucking place. Ugh, but yeah, I don't know. Like Back to the Future 2 is a shocking PG rating because I forgot just how dark Alterna 1985 goes.
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
that is like suddenly becomes a different movie. Like yeah. It's real weird. And like when I looked, I was like, that's got to be one they were like, all right, this one's PG-13, but no. Like, and I was just like, yeah, I think if the bug eating stuff in Temple of Doom garnered a PG-13 after the fact.
No, I think it was the heart ripping.
Well, okay. I mean, it's all the stuff. They were just like, heart ripping, bug eating, monkey brains, all that. It's like this garners a PG-13, but I guess wife beating and all kinds of like, yeah, I murdered your father and I'm going to kill you with the same gun. And like, it's like, that's fine in a kid's movie. And yeah. And also, it's funny because like, I guess because the first one has it's such a retro thing, it's like even parts in 1985 kind of have a 1950s vibe of like, gee, golly gosh, like the first one is like a very, 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 very tame movie because it's like, it's a nostalgia piece about the 1950s that like the harshest thing anyone says is goddamn, I think in it or something like that or shit, like, yeah, they all yell shit when they're crashing into the car, but that's it. Like that's their one shit in the whole movie is literal like network TV you may call excrement shit, like, but yeah, actually, I think it's the opposite. You can only say shit when it's just a general thing on TV. You can't talk about excrement.
Yeah, you can't.
Shit.
It can't be actual poop.
Yeah. So anyway, so stupid, but
it is.
It is really dumb. But yeah. Anyway, but like the second one is like it gets harsher. Like there's lots of people saying shit, asshole. Like yeah. It's like it's weird.
You were
it's like,
never more aware of the language in that movie than when you play it in a video store.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had rules that you could only play PG movies in the video store because obviously. And I just remember like being about an hour into it and a customer came up and said, that movie's not appropriate. I was like, it's Back to the Future too. But I mean, yeah, it's constant, just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it really is. It's just it's a strange tonal shift. I mean, it's still a good movie, and I mean, I think its best features are that it retcon things so well. Like I didn't know Crispin Glover wasn't in the other Back to the Futures until like many years later did I notice that it wasn't the same dude. Like the fact that they covered that so well, and I didn't even notice the Jennifer's thing, to be honest with you. Like just because of the span of time, it was like it was all recreated faithfully enough and just picked right up as like, let's not do a joke of like, hey, you look different, like, do that kind of thing. It's just like, yes, it's the same character, let's go, and it just never really dawned on me until it was like, oh, wait, that's Elizabeth Shue. Like that's she's a lot more famous. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, it's just like, that's, I think its biggest strong point is just like really, and retconning like Doc not having to wear the old man makeup for the old movie because it's going to be old man Doc. It's just like, yeah, I got rejuvenation surgery. Like, ta-da! Like, it's just like there's really clever things from a production standpoint on that one. It's weird and it's dark, and I have like no new takes about 3. I've always actually liked 3. I know most people are just like, oh, the fucking Western one, but I like Westerns and I like cartoony Westerns like that, so I'm still about it. Like,
it just feels like a weird choice.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But
and to be like the one that wraps it up, it feels like almost like that should have been the second one, and then they get back to what the first one was about, and the third one.
Yeah, except like the funny thing is like what I'm realizing is like the whole kind of thing is kind of has the Star Wars vibe to it too, like the arc, because like Doc's like, oh, I'm gonna make this thing, it's gonna be really super cool, and then like the second he goes in the future, it's like shit goes real wrong, and he's like, oh, time travel's real goddamn dangerous, and their only choice is to keep going farther and farther back to correct things, and it's like it's pretty cool actually that it kind of ends with like, all right, the farthest back I've thought about is the Old West, and I know like we all had relatives here, and that kind of thing, and
boy did they.
Well, you know what I mean. It's just interesting because like it's set up. Obviously, they knew they were making 2 and 3 back to back. But it's like it's just interesting that like even though I've always wanted to see the Old West is said in the first one, so it's like it's kind of always been there that you feel like it's gonna end up there somehow, or it's going to go there at some point. Maybe not in the franchise on it, but I don't know. I just think it's interesting that it's like. The only way to correct things is just keep going back and try to get it perfect, and then so there couldn't be any more future stuff because that would have been just more danger. So anyway,
yeah,
that's it. I mean, like I said, it was. I don't know what the going price is, but I mean, even for being brand new, they were still like, hey, how we always offer this trilogy, we're super on sale, so $15. Here we go, even though it's 4K.
Yeah, I should probably get the discs version of it.
Yeah,
because I think I have the streaming copies 4K, but I don't even know anymore. It's tough to keep up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not that I'm like it just that it's the state of like streaming stuff. I'm not like an iTunes advocate or whatever, but I don't think I ever mentioned that they finally settled their Disney dumbassery, and there's 4K Marvel and Disney and everything on iTunes now. So
yeah, just because they're all on Disney Plus anyway.
Right.
But,
yeah, I think they were just like, okay, time to get off our high horse. It's like, what the hell do we have to? We're offering it for pretty cheap over here. We might as well give it to this service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's but it's also weird. Like some things of mine upgraded and some things didn't. Like both the last Avengers movies upgraded, but like some of my old like Iron Man copy and stuff didn't. Like 3 did, but I don't think 1 and 2 did. So it's weird.
It's
but I'm not worried about it because they are all on Disney Plus. I'm not buying them there. I'm just saying it's nice that they finally settled that. It's like, okay, well, we want the same price as it's on this other service in 4K for the HD version. It's like, yeah, okay.
I mean, at the very least, the first Iron Man was Paramount, so that one probably didn't
move around,
translate over.
Yeah,
Paramount was like, nah, you gotta only get it here.
Right. Yeah, that's like I said, it's all dumb. Like I said, it makes no sense what things of mine have popped up and gotten free upgrades. Like Dread is one that started off in SD and somehow eventually went to HD and then became 4K, and I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I think Coraline too. Like that started from like a DVD copy and somehow kept getting upgraded until it's finally a 4K one. It's like, all right.
Just keeps getting grandfathered in somehow.
I don't know. It's just, like I said, it must be totally up to the studios that are like, yeah, fine, free upgrades, do it. We don't care. So.
Yeah, I should check if Kubo has a 4K version. Because that's a movie I think that would look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of movies that you've seen a billion times and still notice stuff, I watched Gremlins because I got the 4K Blu-ray. I can't watch 4K yet, but I was testing out the Xbox Series X to make sure everything worked. And I was like, Gremlins. And I was like, oh, I'll just check a few scenes. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, yeah, I think I've watched the whole thing again.
Yeah.
Because that just kind of happens with me. But I noticed when she goes downstairs to turn off the record player, there are gremlin handprints on the record player. And I don't know how I never noticed that in the past. And, a lot of people said, well, it's probably because you've seen VHS copies a billion times. And it's like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And probably the regular DVD, it wasn't clear enough to see it. But that was one of those things that was like, just speaking of the production value and, like the touches that everyone that was involved in these movies that have endured, the touches that they put on them is kind of awesome, because I mean, that's such a little thing that didn't really need to be there, but it's that nice little bit of foreshadowing if you even notice it. But it's just, it was,
you probably noticed it when you were in a theater, but if you possibly, more likely to see it on a big screen perhaps, but.
Yeah, because I mean, the shot lingers for a little while. Like, they just show the record player and then she kind of comes in off the frame from the right and then covers it. But I mean, it's still a good 5 to 10 seconds of seeing it sitting there. And I don't know how I hadn't noticed that in the past. Because I mean, there's also like a slimy handprint on the lid that's lifted too. So, yeah.
Yeah,
but that movie, I've talked about that movie enough times.
Yeah,
I don't need to say anymore.
It's funny because I'm kind of coming around. Like it feels like this generation, whatever you want to call it, be it video games or movies, this media generation of Blu-rays and 4Ks, which are just Blu-rays too, with a different kind of encoding. But it's like, it's interesting that like so many people are complaining about like we're just getting remakes and remasters and up-reses and stuff. But it's like for so long, like most of the stuff was just left to rot and put in shitty, no thinking about it collections, be it video games or movies. It was just like, yeah, whatever, just take that old transfer and put it on this other thing. And it's I find it refreshing that like we're getting, beloved things are getting like, okay, let's go find all the film reels and do this right and like get a digital copy that's gonna last, for the first, as good as we can possibly make it. Is basically where we're at with 4K. I mean, I think some things are doing 8K masters if it was like 70 millimeter or IMAX, type of stuff. But
yeah, I love all the ones that did 2K masters, in the, like about 10 years ago. And they're like, yeah, we future proofed it. We did a 2K master. And it's like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yep. Do it again.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it's like between games and movies and stuff, I am totally okay with this, like where we're going, I know there's the potential pitfall of the digital platform if just people are going like, nah, we changed it and you will never see the old version, or we just decided this is not acceptable anymore and we've removed it from public viewing. But so I understand that like people will always want to have that physical media type collection thing, for true future proofing. But it's like regardless, I mean, I don't care if you have it on a disc or whatever. It's just, it's very nice that it's like this preservation mentality is kind of happening. Obviously it's business driven. You're like, oh yeah, people buy Mario again and again and again if we just keep like cleaning it up ever so slightly or whatever. But you know, yeah, same thing with Back to the Future. I mean, I just said I had VHS copy, DVD, you know, like Blu-ray, everything. You know, I never hopped on the Laserdisc bandwagon, or I would have had it there, I'm sure. But yeah, it's like I said, it's neat because that, like, you know, all of a sudden, like, something this old and we're like, oh shit, a detail I'd never noticed because of the, you know, the quality of the thing.
Yeah, and that's just amazing to me. I've seen that movie, I couldn't tell you how many times now, and yeah, noticing it that time, I was like, wait a minute. And, you know, I actually rewound it. I'm like, wait a minute, let me see that again. Yeah. So it is nice to kind of like see that stuff with fresh eyes because it's so, you know, it's basically as good as it's going to look, short of being at a theater with it projecting on film back when it was first released.
Right.
But then you can't rewind it and go back and look and make sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like we're at a fidelity that, like, the film medium thing is. Look, I'm not anti-film. I'm just like, we're finally there. Like, if you want to preserve the film grain and all that, you can. You know, like, you can capture that. But most people are like, let's clean it up because, you know, it's like putting artificial record scratches on a CD. You know, it's like, why would you do that? Like, you know, like, why would you want
and
that
it's
sound
also
in
like the
newer,
resolution
cleaner medium?
is good enough that you can run routines on it that'll kind of clean up some of that stuff, and it doesn't look crappy. Like, I seem to remember a lot of DVDs, you know, when they cleaned up the grain, they got just smeary.
Yeah.
You know, they just didn't look right because
No,
it
sure.
was like almost, it wasn't like motion smoothing, but it was like someone kind of smeared on the screen to
It was
get
like
that stuff
that
off.
Spanish lady restoration thing, you know. It's just like, let's take this famous piece of art, just watercolor it. So
Yeah, and I mean, you could see some of the film grain in Gremlins, and I don't mind that, you know. But I do wonder if they'll figure something out down the line for, like, you know, like Star Wars Episode 2. Not that I really care about that movie, but, you know, knowing that the effects were rendered only at 1080p, like, if they'll find some way, like, if we'll have routines eventually that'll just up-res things enough that it doesn't even, like it's not even noticeable.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that. But then again, that whole era, that early 2000s era, that's not like there's much I'm clamoring for from,
I'm trying to think,
from
like,
those days to come out.
I mean, they did the Mummy trilogy in 4K. I guess I need to go fire up that shit-ass Scorpion King sequence and see what the hell that did with that, because, I mean, that had to have been rendered at like 480p, if that, you know. You know, I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
What's funny is that is the only part of Mummy Returns I've seen are those scenes. I've not actually seen the movie itself.
I don't know. I fluctuate on that. I mean, I like the first Mummy, but I fluctuate on that.
Yeah, first Mummy's tons of fun.
Yeah.
First Mummy's one of those movies that knows exactly what it is
Yeah.
and just goes for it.
And the second one, like, there's one specific thing, and it's just like, why? And it's like, Chuck's seen it, right? This isn't spoiler. Like, they're being chased. It's another CG nightmare. They're being chased by, like, these little tiki men or something. I don't know. These little, like, that's the best thing I can say is they look like a Trilogy of Terror guy. You know, the little tiki. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. But I don't remember what the hell they were called in the movie. But, like, they're being chased by these little CG things, and their way of escaping or whatever is, like, you know, they collapse a bridge or something, but, like, one of the tiki things jumps on one of the collapsing logs and does the Dr. Strangelove ride the bomb down move on it. And it's just like, and it's not real subtle. It's not like, oh, look in the background, that guy's actually doing the Slim Pickens thing. It's like, it's front and center, like, and it's like, okay, like, what? Yeah.
I've seen this movie twice. I have no knowledge of any of this.
Really?
I don't remember a thing about this.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. It's like, I want to say it's like the CG nightmare sequence right before the Scorpion. It's late in the game of the movie, like, when it's all like, all right, run away from the CG everything, you know, like, but yeah, I'll go fire it up sometime.
I believe you. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I have no knowledge.
I own a 4K copy of the Dragon Tombs, whatever.
Curse of the Dragon Tomb.
Yeah, like
the movie that I was surprised
existed,
existed
yeah.
when I saw
Yeah,
that set come out. I was like, wait, what is
yeah,
this?
There was another Mummy movie. Yeah,
Jet Li is in this.
yeah. I have, like, the vaguest recollection of that existing at the time and just being like, huh, and, like, you know, sort of like sort of like if Men in Black International, like it just if it hadn't been pushed in my face just a little bit more, that would have been like that's right, they did make another Men in Black like way after the fact, didn't they? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just like they got just a little aggressive with the marketing towards the end, just like, oh shit, I think people are gonna not care. So
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Yeah, it was Rob Cohen. That's why it was kind of
the stealth guy. Wasn't that him? Stealth and Triple X and all that stuff. Is that
Yeah.
Rob Cohen? First Fast and the Furious.
Yep.
Good old Robbie.
Yeah.
And the Hurricane Heist.
Oh, and the Hurricane Heist, of course.
Yeah.
Lest we forget.
Yeah.
I think he's also some sort of shitbird.
Wouldn't
right.
surprise me.
I think he's on the list.
Uh,
Well, I mean, speaking of all these things, there was a new Blu-ray release of The Last Starfighter, and I rewatched The Last Starfighter recently. I had probably not seen The Last Starfighter in 20 years or so. Still, for some reason, knew every single word of The Last Starfighter, and that movie is just so pure and innocent and good. It is just so simple and good. That movie makes me happy. It is just a nice movie. But like, speaking of film grain, all of the CG shots in that are just covered with grain. And at first I was like, this transfer sucks. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it's because it's so clear. That footage is so bad. It needed masking of some kind.
yeah, it's probably very similar to watching the original Tron,
Probably.
where it's like that movie's very difficult to watch at higher resolutions now because it's like, oh my god, no, it actually kind of hurts.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I'm really like, these CG effects look pretty good. And then occasionally you'll just see something in the background, like popping in and out. And it's just like, you could tell like the computers were on fire and they were like, we have to get this movie out to theaters. We can't fix anything. It's just objects in the background are popping out and morphing into other things. I'm like, well, this is not convincing. This is a fucking like early VR nightmare. So, but I mean, some of it really holds up well. The ship design and the motion of the ship and like the dogfights and stuff like that are really good. And there's a mini documentary. There's tons of documentaries on the disc. There's a mini documentary about the dude who built the fake real Starfighter machine that we've seen at the pinball conventions that we go to.
Yeah.
Just some dude who was like, you know what? I like Last Starfighter. Me and my friends are going to code this machine and make it resemble the thing in the movie and take it around and show it off to people. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Gary Whitta has been trying to get his sequel script
apparently
accepted somewhere.
Yeah, 3 different studios apparently think they own the rights to The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that no one can be bothered to just go find the paperwork. They're all just going to stick to their guns and be like, no, we own it. And it's like, okay, you could use this downtime to send an intern to the file warehouse and find out who does, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who put out the damn Blu-ray? You know?
Arrow Video.
Oh God.
So another licensing nightmare.
Oh no.
But they had to license it from somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Or they just took it.
Yeah, they're just like,
"Oh, we got a copy.
What are you gonna do? You're not gonna go find out who owns this. So.
Yeah. Who's gonna sue us? They don't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great. Like, fund a backdoor Blu-ray release of the movie just to get the sequel to go through. Just put it out there so that they have to fight with, wait, do we actually own the rights? And
Yeah,
then
it's like, you can't sue me until you know you own it or not. So you figure that out, and then they figure it out, and you're like, okay, you're the one I want to talk to. Listen.
listen, I would have paid you the first time, and I'll pay you the second time.
But let's make another one too. So
Yeah. While I got you on the phone.
yeah. Listen, yada yada, sue me, whatever. Listen. What if?
What if he has a son?
Yeah.
Who's like the last Starfighter?
Yeah.
Yes.
The last
Starfighter
The
dies.
last,
Starfighter.
the lastest
But-
Starfighter.
Yeah. There's one more Last Starfighter TOO.
The Last Starfighter. That's when they
No,
reboot it.
it's actually called The Last
Oh,
Starfighter.
then it just has to be called Last Starfighter. That's when you
Yeah.
reboot it. You either take the off or put the. That's what they did with Evil Dead. So
Yes, but the 2 in Starfighter, or the A in Starfighter would be a 2.
No.
Last Star 2 for...
No.
I don't know, put a 2 in there somewhere.
All right.
What you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Binary Starfighter.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So complete change of pace. Watched a documentary. Chuck's gonna
Uh-oh.
love this one. This is Jonathan Scott's Power Trip, which, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, you know that Jonathan Scott is one of the Property Brothers because you've probably had to watch them on TV at some point.
I've seen the show. I had no idea their names.
Yeah. Anyway, he's the one who handles the construction, and he starts this journey about like when he's building his house, he wants to basically make it, a super solar house. And then he finds out this kind of like leads him down this rabbit hole of all the ways that big energy has tried to completely fuck solar power in the United States. And like the company he's working with, people he's interviewing, uh, Las Vegas passes one of those shitty amendments that basically just takes away any and all tax credits for having solar panels. And the company he's working with, like, literally just shuts down. Like, a couple hundred employees, guys, like, they just, like, the state just put us out of business because nobody can afford to have them, because what it was doing was, the power they were generating gets sold back to the power company, so they get a tax credit on their bill. So there were people who were having a power bill of $4 a month, so this leads him down the journey of finding out how all of this happened and what states it's happened in, and how all, everything that has prevented solar from becoming this ubiquitous thing that it should be in the US. And they cover Amendment 2 here in Florida, which 4 years ago, they specifically talk about how the wording was so specifically the opposite of what the bill actually did. Because I think it was called like the Freedom for Solar Amendment or something like that. And it was like, yeah, and then the first line is something as far as it was like gives citizens the freedom to own solar panels, was like the first line. And so everyone so if you're just skimming the damn thing, you go, oh yeah, solar panels, I'm all for solar. Because like solar energy has this overwhelming public support, but all of the energy companies want absolutely nothing to do with it and are still dependent on shit like coal. And he gets into the whole interviewing people who used to work in coal mines who have a black lung, and yeah,
Sorry.
pepper
black
lung. I
lung.
don't know.
Yeah, pepper lung.
Yeah, but no, and like it's amazing how brainwashed some of these people are, because he's just like, if we were to bring solar jobs here, you guys would be making more money, the energy would be more efficient, it would do all these things. And they're like, no man, this is a coal town, we got to bring back that coal industry. And he's like, you're literally dying from working in the coal mines. He's like, if you had would you have your son work in the coal mines? And he's like, no, probably not, but we still need the coal here, and it's like, God, like, what a cognitive dissonance, to have that these people, like, that's all they've known in these shit towns is like, no, you work in the coal mine or you don't do anything. And he presents valid options to them, and they're just like, nah, that's stupid. Why would we do that? why would we abandon coal for this solar power? It's not as efficient, And he's just like, you could just see him getting frustrated trying to interview these people. And when he interviews a power company guy, the guy tells him, well, that's just how it's always been done. He straight up in the interview goes, that is the single worst answer I've ever been given for anything. And it's good. He also covers things like Native American reservations that have never had power and have built solar farms and so they've become self-sufficient doing that. And that's kind of where he ends it. And he doesn't necessarily give any solutions, but it's always good, I think, when you have people like him who, he's not like super famous or anything, but he's a television personality. He's well known. He's probably making enough money,
Oh yeah.
and to be able to use that to basically go into a passion project like this that benefits people and say, like, listen, this is the thing that's going to save our planet, because the coal industry is just destroying it. The oil industry, even natural gas, is destroying it. He gets into fracking as well, and it's like, why are we doing this when solar's here? Like, and solar creates jobs, like really good, well-paying jobs, and why aren't we doing this? And it's basically, the answer always comes back to somebody with billions of dollars doesn't want to give up a cent of it, and it doesn't matter what the benefits would be of giving up that cent of his billions. They're not going to do it. And it's, the only way is to fight it at this point is to have people be educated and to have people be active and know what they're voting for, understand, and basically become advocates for those things. I think that's why Amendment 2 here in Florida was defeated, was because so many people found out that, no, this thing's actually trying to fuck solar over completely. And, like everyone got on like I'd say, but like just putting stuff on Facebook, getting the word out to people, change that. Because I know if I had just read it, I would probably be like, yeah, solar, yeah, it's pretty good. I'd vote for that.
Was this on the last election? Because I might have accidentally voted for it.
No, it was in 2016.
Okay. I think, okay.
And I'm pretty sure I made it clear to you and other people. Like I was one of those people who I was telling everyone I knew, I'm like, don't vote this, for this. Basically just gives all the money to the power companies.
Yeah.
Was it 16 or 18? Because I feel like it was on the ticket.
It might have been 18 then.
With the,
I could have sworn
felons should be able to vote, and then the state said nah.
Yeah, the felon one was 18, but and weed was 18 as well. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure solar was 16 because I think that's what they talk about that in.
I know they got us with the stupid monorail too.
What's that?
I said they got us with the stupid monorail too. I mean, it wasn't a monorail; it was the high-speed train bullshit.
Oh yeah, high-speed train.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck yeah, I want a high-speed train. And they're like, not going to Northeast Florida. It's like, fuck you!
Yeah,
eat a dick,
I watched
Mr.
it get to Orlando in 12 minutes.
Yeah. No, let's just do Elon Musk's little two-band car thing that is less efficient than the bullet trains in Japan, but whatever.
Underground space tunnels and launch people.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. Yeah, but I mean, it's worth watching. It's actually on PBS, and there is, I forget what it's called now. Of course, because we're recording, it slipped my mind. But
PBS, what's that?
It's independent something. I can't remember, but it's actually a series that they run on PBS, which is basically independent documentaries. The season premiere was actually Feels Good Man, which is the doc about the guy who made Pepe the Frog and trying to reclaim it from fucking Nazis that stole it from him.
Yeah.
And that documentary is on there too. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, look up PBS streaming and you should be able to find it. And yeah, Independent Lens. Bill just told me in the chat. So yeah, that is it. It's Independent Lens. But yeah,
thanks, Bill.
They got a lot of good documentaries. Another place to find free streaming stuff. Commercial free, aside from a pitch to like buy a tote bag and support your local PBS station.
That's man, talk about how the way we've always done things. Who's wanted a tote bag in the last 30 years? Like,
grandmas.
People who tote things.
Yeah.
Toters.
Most people wear backpacks or shoulder bags, messenger bags now.
Billy can put his marbles in here.
I mean, if you gave away PBS messenger bags, at least that would like show some sign of like, oh, okay.
Look, man, they got a warehouse full of tote bags that ain't moving.
Yeah. These tote bags were sewn in the 70s, and
the hurricanes keep sparing these warehouses. They're cursed.
They tried to use them for power by burning them, and that didn't work. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it was one of those well-made documentaries that, I mean, it's good to have that information out there and in a easily digestible format. So. Yeah. Otherwise, I got other TV stuff. Unless you guys got more movies.
I
TV
don't.
show.
Yeah.
TV show. I want to hear about a TV show.
What?
I want to hear about a TV show.
Do you? Okay.
Tell me about a TV show.
Limited run show on HBO called The Undoing.
Oh yeah, that just wrapped up.
It did. Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman and Donald Sutherland.
It's a David E. Kelly thing, right?
Yeah, it's another David E. Kelly joint. That man is writing a lot of television these days. This is pretty good. It's not great. It's pretty good.
How many episodes of pretty
Six.
good is it? 6? Okay.
6. Yeah.
So it's a digestible pretty good.
It is. It's doable. Like we were prepared for an 8 or 10 episode season, and then after the 5th episode, when it said series finale next week, we were like, "Oh, cool, outstanding!
All right. Yeah.
Now is the right time to wrap this up."
I hope we could start getting more of this, like the British style. Like, yeah, I just had an idea that's longer than a movie, but not a series. You know,
We're
it's
certainly
like
closer. I
yeah.
mean, this is very much like. I mean, you remember every year when we would get a John Grisham thing? This is like that. It's a legal drama murder mystery thing with a lot of people in it, and it's just 6 hours instead of 2.5. So
Okay.
and it never felt there's not an episode where you're like, ugh, get on with it. There's just a lot of like, I don't know, maybe it's you now. You just said a weird thing. You I don't know about you.
Did David Kelly do the Big Little Lies too? Is that him also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should
And
I
he
should
did all
watch
3
this.
seasons of Mr. Mercedes also. So
Oh, I should watch these things. I take it. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I at the very least the first season of Big Little Lies is really good. All 3 seasons of Mr. Mercedes are really good.
I don't know that one at all. What is that? When was that?
I keep recommending it to you.
That's
Okay,
the
well,
Stephen
one
King
more
one.
time. Maybe it'll stick this time.
Stephen King show. Brendan Gleeson is a detective.
Oh, right,
in-
that one. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
It's on Peacock now. You can. It's the one that was on a network that no longer exists.
Okay.
So now it's on a streaming service no one knows they have.
Yeah. Like I fired it up the other day because I was like, oh, I need to see this SNL sketch, and it was like sign in, and I was like, I don't think I had to sign in before, and I was like, God damn it, I don't want to sign in. Just give me the free shit again. And then finally, it was like I pulled it up on my phone, and of course, my password manager was like, you want to sign into Peacock? And I was like, oh, I did make a login. Like, oh, okay. I got all mad because I thought I had to make a login that apparently I already made. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Peacock. Great name.
It's a bird.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also a
Yes.
verb and a noun together.
Yep.
It was chosen because black and white going to color, they wanted to show off all the colors of their logo.
I get it as a mascot or logo, but I don't know that I'd call a service that. Is all I'm saying. Like peacocks look really good. They're awful. They smell like shit and they scream like women being murdered. They're the worst.
Well, that's the app.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the first time I ever heard a
Peacock for streaming.
The first time I ever heard a peacock make its scream noise, I was like reaching for the phone. I thought someone was being murdered. Like I'm not kidding. Like that, it's awful. So anyway,
Yeah.
Seen, not heard.
yeah, like kids.
Well, I had a segue when I was talking about black and white and color, but
You were trying for that? I'm
it's
sorry.
long gone now.
Damn it. Yeah.
Fargo finished the season. I still got 2 episodes left, but the 9th episode called East West is worth watching on its own. And it is an entirely black and white episode. And it is the most Cohen influenced out of everything.
Sounds about right.
As far as like not necessarily referencing stuff they're doing, but actually like trying to emulate the style and the mood. And it's weird in a way because like there are significant things that happen to characters, but you could probably watch this episode on its own and you wouldn't have had to watch the rest of the season to experience it and still kind of understand what's going on. Interestingly enough, like it kind of works as its own little thing, and it's a very big departure from the rest of the season because I think there's only 3 characters from the main storyline that are in it, but like Chris Rock and Jason Schwartzman and all those people are not in it at all. But it is 3 of the characters that have been in there the whole season, but they're just kind of off on their own thing completely, and it doesn't stick the landing at all. Like it's kind of like spinning a top. You know, when the top's going well, it's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But then when it gets to the end, it's like, and it just, and yeah, that's kind of what that episode's like, where it's like, oh man, like it's one of those where it's like, I feel like that could have been an all timer if they had figured out how to stick the landing on it. But
Welcome to Fargo, the TV show.
yeah, but I feel like that episode, especially if you are really, you know, if you're a fan of the Coen brothers, that is an episode worth watching.
I would consider myself a very big fan of the Coen brothers, and yet there are still movies of theirs I've not seen, which is stupid. I should correct that.
Yeah.
I also have gaps in my Coen
Like, I've
brothers
still
list.
never seen A Simple Man, and I think that's supposed to be really good, and I've just not seen it.
I was about to say that one.
Yeah.
It feels like after No Country, it's kind of like I dropped off, and then I tried Hail Caesar was the last one I tried, and I was like, nope, that's bad.
Inside Llewyn
Caesar's
Davis.
bad.
Inside Llewyn Davis is the one to get you back in for anything
Yeah.
post No Country. I'm just saying, like, not that No Country's bad. I'm just saying, like, if you want the
Yeah,
good,
I just
the good one.
feel like I was keeping up until
Yeah.
No Country, and then after that, it was like, I think Simple Man was the next one after that, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, what is the most recent? Was Hail Caesar the most recent thing they've done?
Oh,
No,
they
it's
did
that
that
Netflix show.
Buster Scruggs thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yep, that.
Well, that was like an anthology thing too, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah.
3 separate stories. Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
one's
like
hard
6.
to. No, it's like, yeah, it's a bunch of stories.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's so hard to, like, qualify because it's like, I don't know, they're all different, and I would rate them separately because they're so very different. Yeah.
Now, is that just a movie or is it a
No,
miniseries?
it was a movie, like, just
It was a
strung
movie,
together.
okay.
Like, it was like, all right, now we're doing this Western story. Here's
Yeah, but man, yeah, that was a few years ago too. So
Yeah.
kind of wonder. Of course, now the timeline for everything's fucked, but
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like, well, what have they been up to anyway? But right now, hopefully, staying home away from other people.
Maybe they're writing.
You'd hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, Archer. I don't think I ever talked about the last season or the most recent season. That was the first one. Adam Reed. I don't think he wrote any episodes for. And Ray isn't even in all the episodes, so it's kind of like, I don't know if he's passing the torch, so to speak, or if they're just kind of, you know, the network wants to keep it going, and he's like, yeah, if you want to, whatever, just send me a check. I'm not sure, but I was cold on this season a lot. I mean, there's still a few good laughs here and there, but it's I remember seeing on Twitter before the season came out, somebody talked about like the cartoon theory of how a character starts off kind of one dimensional. They give them all sorts of as you know, as the series goes on, they give them all sorts of nuance and, you know, development, so to speak. And then at a certain point, they just throw that all away and the character becomes just an agent of chaos. And I feel like that's what happened with Archer, where it's just nothing's happening. So have Archer do something stupid that makes everything go wrong. You know, it's kind of like Back to the Future 2, where it's like, just have someone call him a chicken. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, that now the thing's happening. And it just felt like they kept hammering that button too much. And they reference it. Eventually they start to reference it later in the season, but it's still kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't like how it gets resolved. And it's kind of, I mean, I'm trying to say, like, Dreamland is still, I think, my least favorite season out of all of them. It's better than that, but I don't think it was nearly as good as Danger Island or Archer 1999. And it was only 8 episodes too. Like, it feels also like they're just kind of, you know, the season started at 13 and then the last few were 10. And now this one, they're like, 8, let's get out of here. So you kind of wonder.
They're probably just trying to meet some contractual obligation for number of seasons or something at this point, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, because I think he said he's done. Like, he didn't want to do anymore.
He's been done since, like, I swear, I think he started saying that after the Archer Vice season, which was season 5. Because he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of sick of the concept. You know, it's like, okay. But here we are and going into whatever that was, season 11 just finished.
I'm so far behind. Like, I mean, I'm trying to remember like the last one I watched. How long ago was like the whole Outlaw Country thing? It's like
that was Archer Vice.
That's
That
Archer
was
Vice.
season 5.
Oh,
So that
okay.
was like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
Now.
that's one of my favorites. And then I
Oh
think
yeah,
I
that
started.
season's by far my favorite.
I think I
season.
started the one after that. Is that Dreamland or is that?
No, the one after that was
Ginger
like
Ale?
a weird normal
Oh,
season,
okay.
and then after that was Archer Investigations, where they became like private eyes in California,
Yeah, I'm so far behind. I have no idea. Like,
and then after that was like Dreamland and Danger Island and all that stuff.
yeah.
The coma seasons, so to speak. Yeah, and that's another one where they
Season.
yeah, that's another one where they stopped putting them out. They put out blue DVDs. I don't even think they have those out anymore. But like all the first seasons were on Blu-ray, and now they just stopped. They're like, nah, you can stream it on Amazon, I guess. So that's kind of a bummer. Or and I'm not sure like if FX is just kind of like transition to push everything to Hulu because they've got exclusive shows on Hulu, but it's starting to feel that way, where they're just like, nah, we don't want physical. Just go to Hulu if you're going to watch our stuff.
Well, they got bought by Disney, and Disney owns Hulu, and Disney doesn't
Yeah.
put out physical media anymore. So
Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. But I mean, this started before the Disney thing, even. So I don't know.
well, I mean, even I would say 9 out of 10 TV shows that come out on physical media now are still just DVD only.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I just never realized that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
the weirdest thing is like older things where it really doesn't matter if you're watching a DVD or a Blu-ray. I mean, if you're talking about some of the older shows, it's usually minimal difference. But like, I'll see that like I don't know, Mary Tyler Moore show or something. Like they'll put it all out like seasons on DVD, and then like when it's all done, they're like, hey, look, it's a Blu-ray box set. And it's like, the fuck, like so if you're gonna make not just that's the random example. I'm just saying like shows of that era. It's just like they finally put it all on Blu-ray when they decided to do the whole damn show, and it's like, oh, okay.
Space.
Yeah.
They can put it on 2 Blu-ray discs.
Yeah. Who knows?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just certain shows I'd want to have my physical copies of. I've narrowed it down a lot, and obviously streaming has changed things a ton. But there's still some where I want those.
Yeah, for the most part, like I'm almost to the point where I'm like, this is always going to be available on streaming. But there are occasionally shows where I'm like, this show has a history of just fucking disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Community for a while was like, I don't know where this show is.
Yeah,
I want to watch
I had
Community.
that set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I like stuff with extras. We've talked about that in the past,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, if you got commentaries, I want to listen to them.
Well, there were those 3 months where Doctor Who was nowhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had. I think I had to buy. Yeah, I had to buy the last couple episodes of Torchwood just to watch them. So now that is the only thing that shows up in my Amazon library is like the last 2 episodes of season 2 of Torchwood.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw that they finally put out like the whole Blu, or maybe it was even 4K. I don't know, but it was like a Game of Thrones box set, and I remember like from where that show started, like how much I would have been all over that to now I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
nah, it's HBO. It's not going anywhere. Like, it's like it will always be on HBO, whatever.
Yeah, every time I see like a deep sale on some HBO show that I really like, I'm like, I should get that. And I'm like,
no,
that's never going to leave HBO, whatever. So
besides a few early HBO shows, they've never disappeared. Like they're
Yeah.
usually on whatever streaming thing.
yeah, they're not going to lose the rights to their own fucking show.
Yeah. Other
Yeah,
than like,
it's
did
like
you say
Dream On is
yeah.
the only one. Like
Well,
everything else.
And our list was gone up until recently. I know Chuck was so very sad about that, but no, I mean, because I think Jens was like, "Hey, it came back. It's suddenly showed back up," and I was like, "We didn't know it was gone, but all right."
Chuck was like, "Yay,
Fucking
our
Arliss.
list."
Our loss was your gain.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about. I almost it's weird that you mentioned Game of Thrones because I almost posted that on Twitter today. I was like, remember when we cared about the Game of Thrones finale?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that?
I don't know.
Was that last year or the year
Last
before?
year.
No, it
No, it
feels
was last
longer.
year.
Was it last year? It feels so
Yeah.
much longer ago than that.
It's just it's still amazing to me how much that final season just killed that show. Like as far as like pop culture or whatever, like it was everything. And then that last season came out and everyone's like, yeah, never mind. Like forget about that. Let's move on.
It was really just funniest watching where people fell off. Like I was all up until the final episode. I was like, I'm still in. Like, come on, like just wrap it up, B. You can do it.
It was the third one was the huge battle, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
like I think there were only like 6 2-hour episodes in that season.
And whichever the one which has the big Arya moment was, I was like, however, this like they didn't answer anything about
what the fuck this. Yeah,
any of that guy, and I was just like, okay, never mind.
It'd be like if John Locke stabbed.
That's actually when I was like, yeah, this is not going to end well.
Right.
Like it was at that point.
Like if John Locke stabbed this
killed
smoke
off that
monster
character with no answers whatsoever, that I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get a satisfactory ending to this show. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I crossed my fingers and still watched the finale, but it was like, nope. Yeah, I hate when I'm right.
So I feel like now I'm having this difficulty of like, did they address it on the show, or did I actually read it in the limited or listen to it in the limited bits of the audiobooks I listened to? Because like I'm having a hard time. Like I know there is an explanation for the whole Night King and the undead and everything, but I don't.
He's not even a character in the books.
No.
So
okay.
Yeah. No, they made all that stuff for the show.
Wait, all the undead stuff? Okay.
Well, no, not all the undead, but like all the Night King stuff.
Okay.
Like,
Well, yeah.
He's not a major character like he is on the show.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I
The
think
the show had that one episode where there was like a 5-minute origin story for that guy.
Right. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Bran touched a tree or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was like some flashback thing, and they're like, yeah, here's really the whole thing about it. It's not that interesting.
Yeah. It felt like there was a lot more there, and they were just like, nah, this is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's unfortunate. Nothing can ever live up to that level of hype. I mean, I don't know that anything ever has. Or everyone has a billion ways that they think it's going to end. It's just not. I mean, really, it's like I feel like it's like Lost in that, or kind of it. Like those are the two things where like it was like, here's a big mystery box of a show, and everyone was like, I know how it's going to end, and then it just drags on maybe a little longer than it should have, and then people are like, get to the fucking ending, and then the ending happens. Like, what the fuck is that? And then they have like the same arc basically.
I'll go to bat for the Lost ending. Like I do not understand people who are like, I don't understand how were they all there? It's like you honestly don't get this. Like that. It's one of those things that's just like it boggles my mind that there are people like, I don't understand how they're all there at once.
They literally said it. They literally said it in dialogue, explaining exactly how they're there.
I'm not saying it did make sense, but it didn't. It wasn't like everyone had all these other grander designs of like this means this and this. You know what I mean? It's like
okay. So the biggest problem with it, if I may be so bold, is that like 3 seasons earlier, the creators came out and said they're not in purgatory, which is true. They never were. This later thing was something different and had nothing to do with what they were talking about then. But then at the end of the show, people were like, they lied. Fuck them. And it's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
They literally didn't. That was a totally separate thing that you're talking about. Because they're like, oh, this island's purgatory. It's like,
no. And I can understand people who are like unsatisfied with how that ended because they wanted explanations for everything, which... it wasn't going to happen because it's Damon. Monster? Yeah, because it's Damon Lindelof, so it's not going to happen. But I mean, there was a lot, and that's the thing too. I think so many people bailed and then came back for the finale and are like, they're going to answer all our questions, and it's like, no, that was actually the Jacob episode 3 episodes earlier where they answered 95% of that. But nobody was paying attention. It's like only the diehards were still watching at that point, and then everyone jumped on for the finale and was like, yeah, they're in purgatory. Fuck you. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I can't think of another show that's like those two. I mean, everything else that's tried fizzled out long before the finale.
I like to think about like the first season of True Detective. As it was happening, midway through, everyone was like, "Holy shit! There's going to be some big supernatural thing or something." And then the finale is just like, "No, it's just a serial killer."
It's just like you don't really understand how twisted people can be. It's that
it's
fucking
just fucking
twisted.
hillbillies.
But God, but I just remember like reading stuff, but like after episode 4, 5, 6, even 7, where they're just
people
like,
were
people
so
were
much
just like,
fucking
all right,
game theory going on.
yeah, well, they're like, all right, the Yellow King stuff is, this
Yeah.
is a reference to this. So this means, like everyone thought this was going to be this huge, crazy, like, they're going to find a cult that's open to, a door to the hell mouth
Yeah.
or something, and
Some
it's like,
fucking Lovecraft shit is going on here.
no, and it's just, no,
It's just cops solving a case. And I love the second season was so fucking mundane about fucking land deals and real estate bullshit.
God.
And everyone's like, oh, here we go. It's coming. It's going to be some spooky shit. And it was just not even close to season 1 stuff. It was just, I don't know.
the most interesting thing they do in the second season, they undo in the next, it happens in the premiere and they undo it in the very next episode.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like I would have been way more on board with that season if they had just killed him off first episode.
Yep.
I'd be like, okay, wow, all right, now you have my attention. And nope, as soon as he came back, it was just like just like Game of Thrones. I was like, all right, this is not going to end in any satisfactory way.
Yeah.
And I should watch the third season because by all accounts, the third season is pretty good. I have no idea, haven't done it. And it's already just disappeared from the, the public consciousness at all. It's like True Detective. What was that?
Well, okay, without
Wait,
saying...
that was that thing where that one chick got naked in the second episode and it was really good.
Yeah. So the third season also had a thing where people were like, I know what it is. And everyone is so fucking convinced that they knew what it was. And the show never even comes close to that being the thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things where people are like, how dare you not be the thing I pictured in my brain 8 months after you wrote this thing. So I don't know. Yeah. I think people on the internet think they can somehow will their ending into existence and still don't quite understand that these shows are done way in advance.
Yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing about Mandalorian, because that's kind of the only thing lately that's coming out on a weekly basis. And it's not like, here it is dumped out, mm-hmm. So people have theories, but that one seems to be satisfying people on the levels that they want, they're like, all right, they're going to introduce this character that or not introduce, but they're going to bring back this character that and everyone's been like, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was actually really good. The fifth episode, which is the one, where all the big Star Wars people are all about it. But me, I was more there was some heavy duty Kurosawa shit going on in this episode. And it's really, really good. That is the one that is by far the most directly referencing tons of Kurosawa stuff in the shots, in the setups, in all of that. And it was weird that I didn't even realize Michael Biehn was in that episode until he has a speech near the end. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Michael Biehn. I didn't realize it until he spoke, until he had more than a couple sentences to say at a time. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Yeah. You got old, which makes sense. But
it does. Because time is a flat circle.
Yeah. Well, what's the last thing he's been in?
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but yeah,
I couldn't tell you the last thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he was probably in the Avatar or some bullshit. Who knows?
Avatar or some bullshit. Yes.
Yeah. But Mandalorian, what I was getting to is there was a lot of build up for stuff, and that seems to be the only thing that's satisfying it, almost because they're not trying. It's hard to explain, but it feels like they're not trying to do too much with any specific episode.
It's a very episodic show. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing where people are going in with. I mean, yes, some people are, but the average viewer is not. It doesn't beg the game theory thing you were talking about with True Detective.
Yeah.
It's just
it's not building a grand mystery.
Yeah, it's X-File-ish because it's all right, we have a thing we're working towards, a big overarching thing, but every episode is kind of just adventure of the week. And
he shows up here and someone wants him to do a job to give him what he wants.
Right. And it's just, so it's every episode is kind of a satisfactory ending. So it doesn't beg that what's coming next? That's when TV just started relying on the cliffhanger. That's when it was just if every episode of your TV show is a cliffhanger, then you're setting yourself up for people to eventually bail on your show. I mean, a cliffhanger from time to time is fine.
Dude, Alias pulled it off for a while.
They did.
I think Alias is the best one for me.
Yeah, but people
because that first season, I swear to God,
but people
there's
bailed on that show
7
eventually.
cliffhangers in a row.
But people bailed on that show eventually. I don't know very many people that made it to the last season. I did, but
I did not.
Yeah,
most people did not.
Yeah, I mean, the final season where it's like, oh, it's almost like Saved by the Bell of the college years because they bring in like Rachel Nichols and a bunch of other people, and it's like they're the main people now, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested. I think it's a couple weeks from now when The Stand starts, and that's going to be week to week. So it'll be interesting to see how people react to that.
Are they just doing the book, or are they? Is it like we're going to jump from the book and do our own thing?
No, it's the book, but it's heavily expanded on. I think it's like 10 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, but I mean,
So who's
but we're not like, most people can just go read the book or have read the book, and it's like, I know where this is going. So it's like, what I'm talking about is this like mystery TV. It's just, to me, it's like, it just seems like a doomed to fail thing eventually.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's like a, ooh, what's this all about
Right.
kind of thing, but it may be interesting to people who, like myself, who heavily know the original miniseries, but didn't retain a lot of the book knowledge, just to see how they're going to differ from that.
So who's making it? Is it anybody
Maybe
that would matter to me?
I don't know.
Actually, I have a question sort of like that. Did the same person make both It movies, chapter 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, that's just weird that you said it's such a drop in quality. I still need to watch that chapter 2 just to know. But yeah, like I was just saying, like, if it was two different people, let the person that did chapter 1 do it, because they seem to get the Stephen King vibe pretty well. But
Yeah.
then I guess maybe not.
The Stand showrunner is the guy who wrote the New Mutants.
All right.
So
Well, at least you'll be able to see it probably when you're supposed to see it.
it is supposed to start soon. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Great.
The other writer wrote Justified and Homeland. So
Oh, okay, good. Well, maybe he'll
wrote for both those shows.
even out the dumb bullshit.
Never know. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I mean, I haven't watched New Mutants yet. I can't really comment on that. Has anyone here?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised none of us have talked about New Mutants yet.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to rent it,
Okay.
but I have an extreme love of New Mutants, the comic itself, like that team and that storyline in particular. But that is one, like, and it's kind of like, don't do that one first. Like, just I get you wanted to make a superhero horror movie, but like, you've burned the best one, and you've clearly burned it in a way that it's not coming back. So yeah, I just haven't got up my nerve to do it yet, basically.
Well, I look forward to the future rant at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be coming. But it's also like, the thing about the Demon Bear storyline in New Mutants is so much of it is because of Bill Sienkiewicz's artwork, which is incredibly distinctive. And it's like that I don't know how you translate that to live action anything and still have it work. It's just like the character Warlock never quite works because of the way he drew him. Like, he's this shape-shifting techno-organic thing, and you can't really replicate that on a screen, and you've seen action figures of them. They're terrible, like they don't work because it's such a stylized thing that you can't really take something so abstract and then make it into a physical thing. And I feel like that's kind of that storyline with the movie is it's such an abstract thing that I don't think it works necessarily as translating it to a live action movie. So
I guess we'll see.
I guess I'll
Yeah.
come at it from the I don't know the source material and see how I like it as a movie. But and you can do the I've read the book, this sucks take.
yeah, that'll be one where I'm like, no, you need to read the book. You need to read the comics.
Actually,
I think I could burn through 100 issues of a comic book pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably only need to loan you the 5 or 6 that takes place in. So.
Oh, well, I'm just saying I burned through all of Ultimate Spider-Man in like a matter of a couple of weeks, so I think I can blow through 100 issues of New Mutants.
Yeah. And Ultimate Spider-Man's big on the word bubbles. So.
Big on the word bubbles.
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear.
The writer is super verbose.
Yes.
Like he's,
Probably Michael Bendis likes his words.
yeah. So half of his pages are word bubbles, just chock full of lettering, covering up half the art.
Which is funny because the one, what is it, CGC, the graded comics I saw, is the one issue that has no dialogue. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, it's the word. I believe it's the completely wordless issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. I think it's number 8 or 13. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know that was the Nuff Said month because I have a bunch of those issues of other comics.
Yeah, I mean it's one of my favorite issues of that run, and it's got one of my single favorite panels that I guess I can't look at because it's sealed. But I have graphic novels. I have trade paperbacks. I was like, when I was looking at it, it was in like this like $5 CGC bid. I was like, oh, I know that issue. I want that. Yeah, it's like, please give me that. Anyway, enough comic talk.
Yeah,
Enough talk in general, I think.
Yeah, nobody got anything else?
I guess we still have to talk our way out of this, but
Well, yeah.
I real quick just want to say I'm doing a thing.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What prompted this anniversary?
I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been looking for some sort of structured reason to watch a bunch of movies instead of having to be forced with like looking at a shelf and trying to pick something to watch, because that always ends in sadness and I just end up not watching anything.
Okay.
So
it's like me with my Xbox, just looking at hundreds of games and going, what needs updates?
Yeah,
we'll check if there's any DLC. So I end up downloading from the menu and never actually playing a game.
I thought about this idea like a year ago, and at first figured, well, there has to be scans of these on the internet, because of course there are. Everything's on the internet. Surprisingly, no. So I had to kind of bide my time and start acquiring some of these old cable guides, because I wanted to be 100% accurate to the experience. Wow. So basically, I'm taking old cable guides and going through the entire movie selection, building a list on Letterboxd, and then watching all of the ones that aren't like movies that I know by heart. So in some cases...
Right now you're doing HBO 1995, is that correct?
HBO December 1995 was the first one I had available to me.
Okay.
And so it's...
That was 25 years ago.
It was, yes. Happy anniversary, December 1995. It's
I was recently a high school graduate.
So it's a bunch of 1994 movies that ran on HBO with really no rhyme or reason as to what they are. Some weird oddballs thrown in there.
Oh yeah, like Silverado was there.
Yep. Yeah, there's some good ass.
And I saw Pumpkinhead 2.
Pumpkinhead 2 is on the list. Yes, of course.
Are you watching this again? I mean, are you making exceptions for ones you just?
If it is something that I have made an entry for on Letterboxd, that counts. It's done.
Okay.
If it is something I know by heart, but for some reason just haven't logged it on Letterboxd, probably done.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I'm actually going to watch Mrs. Doubtfire again because.
Yeah. What about Forrest Gump?
I'm not going to watch Forrest Gump again. I think I have a good understanding of Forrest Gump. I think Mrs. Doubtfire has been boiled down to one or two scenes in my memory, and I would like the full Mrs. Doubtfire experience again to really frame it.
I feel like we've had the 4 seasons of the Forrest Gump here recently. So
yes.
we took the original movie and expanded it out to a far too limited run series.
Yeah, we're all living it, and I would like no part of it, so that could end.
So how are you choosing what order you're watching in?
Depends on where I am.
Okay.
I know I've got discs for a lot of that stuff, but a lot of it is on streaming services. So if I'm just somewhere with my laptop, I'm like, okay, which of these are on Hulu?
Yeah.
Pick that. And so far, it has been surprisingly easy to just go, yeah, I'll watch that. Let's go.
What about that Cyndi Lauper movie? Where is that?
I found it.
Oh, okay.
It never made it past VHS, but I found it.
Sure, yeah.
And I have it.
Okay.
Enough said. I'm going to watch it.
Enough said, month.
Yeah. There are a couple of those movies I'm going to hold off for the BMFcast because they are BMFcast appropriate. Like, I'm not going to sit here and watch a Gary Daniels movie on my own when we could watch a fucking Gary Daniels movie. So I'm just kind of stoked that HBO
Isn't the Pat Morita Jay Leno one on there too?
It
Is it Collision
It
Course?
absolutely
Is that the name of it?
was. Yeah.
You may want to tune into the BMFcast Extra Poll next week.
Oh no. I just saw Harlow's life drain out of him as you said that. Like I
That movie's
literally
on-
watched his soul leave his body.
It's on HBO Max right now.
Oh yeah, it's on HBO Max. All right.
Oh man.
Oh, so yeah, there's a little tease for you.
Great. Can't wait.
Yeah, anyway, letterbox.com/smarmyjerkface is my page where that's basically where I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm not gonna make a video or anything or a solo podcast because who gives a shit. So
We give a shit, Chuck.
I know, but I'm not making a video for 2 people.
Fair.
Maybe 3. I don't know if BJ exists.
Why it's not stopping us right now? Everyone else always dunks on our viewership. I thought I'd try it once.
Damn, son.
Yeesh. All right. So yeah, check that out. All our profiles are on Letterboxd.
Yep.
So you want to see what random garbage we've been watching?
Or not.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think literally the only thing I logged last month was that Jonathan Scott movie.
I guarantee you, I do not
Because
watch
video games.
I don't relog rewatches. I don't, unless I have something new to take. Like I logged a rewatch of Interstellar because I 180'd on Interstellar. Interstellar is fucking fantastic, and I was so wrong about that. So
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
way to go, brother.
yeah, so
I should watch it again.
yeah, I recently that was one of the other things I got super cheap for 4K, and I was like, oh yeah, I should watch Interstellar, and it was like, fuck, Interstellar is really good. What was wrong with me?
Outstanding.
Yeah. So now I guess I need to watch not Midway, the other Dunkirk.
1917.
Dunkirk. His
Oh, Dunkirk.
yeah.
That's right.
I was like, we had so
Who
many.
was 1917? Was that?
That's Sam Mendes.
that's Mendes, wasn't it?
and yeah, Deakins. I mean, I just say Deakins because it's fucking Deakins movie.
It
what
is
that
Deakins. Yes, it's
Yeah.
Deakins.
Let's just say that.
Yeah, and you can find links for all our Letterboxd accounts on our website.
Yeah, bmfcast.com. If you want to email us, bmf@bmfcast.com. You want to call us, 910-5JUCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. Leave us a message. We'll listen to it. We might play it. Depends on how coherent or incoherent it is.
Yeah, we'll probably play it. Maybe
At
play
this
it.
point, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got
It's not
nothing to
like-
lose. Yeah, we're just like
It's not like a
fuck it.
month between shows like it has been, but
No, if you're if you're on a train or driving a truck or
yes.
or listening to
all
a
of
train
those
while
things.
driving the truck.
yeah,
Please turn it down because we'd probably get copyright flagged.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, turn your radio down.
Yeah.
Before you.
But otherwise,
Yeah,
you want to
sweet
find us on the
Virginia.
socials, go to whatever/BMFcast. We're there.
Whatever.
Yeah. And email us if you want an invite to the Discord, which is a great place to chat movie, video game, politic, whatever, all sorts of shit.
We even let people talk about anime. We won't probably join you, but you can talk about anime.
Yeah.
There's a place.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only place in the Discord that is not moderated by
Yeah, I was
us,
going to say,
is
every
the
once in a while we
channel.
should probably check in there. I hope BJ does.
I don't.
I
I
clicked
have it
on it
muted.
yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I have it muted also, but
Yeah.
I was just curious as if people were posting in there. BJ posts in there on occasion.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess that counts as moderation.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say, there
we
could
got
be...
an argument about whether a Switch game was an anime game or not.
Mm-hmm.
Murder by Numbers, which I will say is not an anime game,
It's an anime game.
and I don't
don't
think Phoenix Wright is either, and that's the same type of thing. So
I mean,
decide for yourself.
okay.
So if you want to join the Discord, send us an email because we shut down open invites. So you got to be let in. Sorry.
Yes, we are gatekeeping because there are shitholes out there.
Yeah.
Maybe 2021 will open back up.
Yeah, maybe. Otherwise, patreon.com/BMFcast. That's where you get all our bonus shit. You get you two talking about movies 6 months earlier than they show up on the main feed. You get to vote in polls. Not all the polls are open to the public, I believe. There's some you got to be a patron.
They are right now, I think.
Yeah,
the majority
they're
of them
free.
have been open.
No poll tax right now.
Yeah, there
until
you
the
go.
BMFcast proper comes back.
Right. Yeah. And otherwise, Doctor Who podcasts that we do and archives of all the stuff that we did and abandoned way back when. you have access to all of it. It's
Sure.
worth it.
Yes.
Indeed.
There, my sales pitch is done.
Good sales pitch.
I like
I
that.
try.
I would buy that for $1 a month.
Me too.
Anyway, let's get out of here. I am
Let's-
Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
And this is
Spamcast
BMFcast.
out.
5.1, let's go.
Without BJ here to do it, it's all
Yeah.
messed up.
All three. 3, 2, 1.
And
this is
Bamcast
Bamcast
out.
out.
This is Bamcast
no,
out.
you ruined Chuck. You ruined it.
Whatever.
It's ruined.
You have 3 different takes. I mean, they're going to be...
Yeah, I can
Pick one.
manipulate that shit. And I'm gonna.
And this is Bamcast out.
Yeah. Just multiply it like 25 times.
You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. I don't know. That was the extra smarmy one, not the Superdome guy.
Oh, by the way, if you guys think of any bumper things, ours are woefully old.
Oh, yeah.
So just be thinking about ideas. We can record them like before or after these shows. But yeah, I'm tired of using the same. Do you like Imagine Dragons?
It's a good one, though.
Or, BJ telling people to eat ass or whatever the fuck.
Put your money tongues in our wallet buttholes, I believe is the phrasing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll stop the live stream, Guess we got to go and
Yeah.
not be online.
So, goodbye, Internet.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been swell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been fun.
It's been great. Been awesome.
Loved every minute of it.
Did you?
Oh, I did.
Bye-bye, Internet.